Hello trainers, Neto here, and today we're gonna dive once again into Great League, but this time with the perfect team to use if you do not have a lot of resources for your team. Also, those three Pokemon are gonna be extremely good in any other team if you want to use them, so not only on this particular team, but today let's say that you have no resources at all, no Stardust, no candies, and you're just playing with the minimal things that you can get out of this Pokemon go up. So we're gonna have Skarmory up on the lead, followed up by Vigoroth and Whiscash. So let's start off with Vigoroth and Skarmory, because those two Pokemon are not even gonna have a second move. You might see here that we're gonna have unlocked the second move, but we're not gonna use it at all, just gonna rely on the Air Slash and Sky Attack for the Skarmory and Counter and Body Slam for our Vigoroth. We will also take in mind that we're gonna overfarm most of the times at the point that we have the other move ready to go, but we are never gonna fire it, because even if you know that you do not have a second move unlocked, your opponent doesn't. So if you can play this correctly, this team, or especially the specific picks, can go pretty well against anything that you might be finding across your way in Great League. So those three picks pretty cool as generalists, and the cool thing about Skarmory is not that it has a pretty cool offensive side with Air Slash and Sky Attack, but the defensive side with its Steel typing in combination with the Flying one, because it's gonna be a Steel type that resists those ground type moves, and this is gonna put Skarmory up in front on any good matchup on Great League at the moment for the current meta. So here the Whiscash, as you can see, can finish off with a huge nuke against this Noctowl, meaning that Blizzard will connect, and Whiscash can prove to be a Mad Boy that has access not only to a spammy moveset with Mud Shot and Mud Bomb, but also Blizzard to obliterate that flying weakness that it might have, and also that grass weakness as well that we're gonna see in a while. So for now, let's move forward into the next match against this Skarmory mirror match. We're gonna go ahead with the Sky Attacks, as I have already said, and we're gonna always overfarm on the entirety of this video up to a point that we have the second move ready as well. So Scraft is coming in, we're gonna hit it with a pretty hard, pretty tough to not block Sky Attack. They are gonna take it, and that means now that we can go in with our Vigoroth and start doing some solid job. I really like Vigoroth on the current meta of Great League, because it can charge up to its body slams pretty fast, and counter damage really adds up, meaning that this Pokemon can go pretty well on the pressuring side as well. So at the back there is gonna be a Poliwrath, and this Pokemon will not be such a threat for our Vigoroth, because now we can go with multiple body slams and rely completely on our White Ape here to finish off the match. What I also like about this team is that it has a pretty much a huge coverage against the meta, and can go pretty well against anything, even with missing some moves like the second move from Skarmory and Vigoroth. So this team absolutely amazing to use. A pretty bad lead on the next one, and we're facing this Marowak, which is not gonna be going pretty well against our Skarmory, but also against our Vigoroth, and we're gonna safe switch the Vigoroth in there, because we know that we do not have a second move, but they don't. As I have already said in the previous battle, we do not have the move, but they don't, meaning that we can go ahead and threat them with a potential Bulldoze, but instead throw a Body Slam, and they know that, so they're just gonna bring in there the Azumarill, and you can see that even against Azumarill, Vigoroth has a soft loss, and even can take a shield or two out of that Pokemon. So Azumarill is gonna farm us down, but at this point Skarmory serves almost no purpose at all on the team, because we know they have that Alolan Marowak. So we're just gonna bring Skarmory into play, take the move from the Azumarill, and also the move from that Shadow Bone. Right now we can go ahead with our Whiscash, dealing so much damage with the Mud Bomb. Unfortunately not so much though, because we have to start blocking the potential Shadow Bones, because it is still gonna do so much damage to us. Diggers is coming through, and we will try to take their shield out of them with the potential bait to the Mud Bomb. This is gonna be extremely good for us, and now we can go ahead and take the move. Unfortunately they're gonna connect this Earthquake, and now we have to go for the Blizzard. Things are getting a little bit tricky here. Blizzard is gonna connect with huge damage, and now we just need to block the correct move. It is gonna be just a Fire Punch, and now we have to catch the move on our Skarmory. This is not gonna happen at all, and we have to be extremely careful once again with the Sky Attack. We are not getting careful here, and we did so many mistakes that now we do not have the time to go ahead and finish off this match, because Mud Bomb is gonna take out this Marowak, but they have the time to go for the last second Fire Punch here and finish us off. Whiscash is gonna be an amazing Pokemon overall. I prefer it as a closer because it has access to Blizzard, and even against a bad matchup against a Flyer or a Grass type, you still have the Blizzard to cover that weakness for you. So with shields down, this Pokemon can go pretty well against anything. And if you're wondering why does Whiscash has a second move, well, that's because it needs only 10,000 Stardust to unlock the second move. It is so cheap, perhaps the cheapest in the game, unless you count the purified versions. But anyways, you can go ahead purify. You can go ahead with 10,000 Stardust on the Whiscash, and you're gonna unlock yourself a pretty handy move for a pretty cool Mud Boy without using any legacy moves at all. So right now we're getting farm down here from that Sableye, but things are looking pretty good because now I can go in with my Whiscash, block the move, whatever it might be, and completely farm down that Sableye. Sableye now will leave the field, but Venusaur will come back, and here is where Whiscash with Blizzard comes into play. We have one shield up, we're gonna take their shield as well as they take our shield in the process. So now we can charge up to the Blizzard, down goes Venusaur. This is absolutely awesome, and they have now the Stunfisk. Good news about this matchup is that one Rock Slide will deal almost no damage and we can survive it, and now we can go ahead with the Mud Bomb. We know they're gonna farm us down eventually, so we're just gonna throw in there Skarmory, and Skarmory against Stunfisk, it can get pretty easy for the Stunfisk to finish off, but it can get pretty close for our Skarmory as well, so we can resist those moves that they throw at us. Even Rock Slide doesn't deal enough damage, so we can take the victory with that Sky Attack, since that Stunfisk is gonna be at the red. Gonna take a huge victory there, and now gonna proceed into the next one against a Charmer up on the lead. Shadow Granbull though is a Charmer that applies so much pressure even to the steel types, and we have to take note of that on the long term of the battle though, because right now we're having the Vigoroth coming in, and we will try to take a shield out of this Sableye by over farming a lot. This is gonna be super successful with our Vigoroth, and right now we took the shield out of them while we did not even use the bulldoze. We just went in there with our back-to-back body slams, but first we farmed up to a point that we had 100 energy at the start, so after that we could easily go ahead and throw some body slams along the way to take eventually at least one shield out of them. We now know that with energy ahead, our Pokemon here, the Skarmory, can go pretty well against that Charmer, and eventually whatever there is gonna be at the backline, it is gonna be though a Buzzsaw, and we're gonna go with the heavy hitting move, the Blizzard. They are gonna call the huge move here, the shield on the Blizzard, absolutely awesome for them, and now we have to go for the Mud Bomb. If we went for that bait instead with the Mud Bomb, we could have easily won this matchup, but right now it is gonna be super close. So let's see together, trainers, 1, 2, and down we go at the same time. Shadow Granbull with the finish off on our steel type bird, absolutely awesome. And just imagine that Skarmory is pretty defensive and also resists that charm damage, absolutely amazing. So right now we're gonna proceed into the next one with a weird in-between matchup with Swampert against our Vigoroth, and this is gonna be kinda good for us because on the long term of the battle, once again we can finish off. We lost the CMP on the start of the battle, so it was like we cannot win the CMP, so let's commit to the double shield scenario here and finish them off. Whatever there is at the back, they have to sacrifice at least one shield because we have a lot of energy stored up. There is gonna be a Talonflame, and we're talking about a meta that has a lot of Buzzsaws counters or Buzzsaws in total. So we're gonna see either a lot of Flyers and Ghosts or some Buzzsaws along the way like we did before, and with that in mind we can take two shields out of the Talonflame and we can go in now with our Whiscash. What I want to do here is to make them use the Brave Bird and perhaps stay over there a little bit more than usual and finish them off with the Mud Bomb because now they are debuffed. However, they make the best possible choice here here to switch out to their Ninetales, and now my Skarmory can go with the heavy hitting Sky Attack. I could always go with the Brave Bird, but I repeat, I'm not gonna do that at all because I want to rely on my Skarmory with Sky Attack to showcase this team as a budget team overall. Excuse me. So overall here, Ninetales is gonna go down to my Mud Bombs, and now Blizzard is gonna connect to the Talonflame, and we're gonna take a huge victory. Right into the next one now with the Sableye up on the lead, and we have to take our Skarmory out of there because whenever I see Sableye up on the lead, I'm always like perhaps Skarmory can be needed for the end game because I'm expecting a fighter at the back. Sableye can work pretty well as an anti-ghost option because it is barred dark, so that a fighter can be super good at the back. So strategizing your strategies against potential team compositions that your opponent might have is gonna be another key scenario for this team to success with all those budget picks that you're gonna use. Not only overfarm, not only catch on your certain move Pokemon, but also be super good at predicting what Pokemon they might have at the back, and right here my Skarmory will return into the fight. It can take one foul play and also start getting some shields out of my opponent. I'm just gonna be curious here and gonna block my Skarmory because they seem like they're staying into that Skarmory Sableye matchup for some reason. So the back there is gonna be a Swampert, and we can easily go here ahead and tank this move because it cannot be an Earthquake at all. They did not reach even close to the Earthquake, so I'm just gonna block the second Hydro Cannon, and I'm just gonna overfarm just two more of those Mud Shots, and now we have some energy for the end game against this Sableye. We're gonna get hit by a move here which is gonna deal lethal damage to my Whiscash. Pretty cool counting for my opponent, but we are still able to farm down the Sableye and get a very close win. You can see that my IVs are mostly garbage right now, and that makes it up with all those good plays that we have had overall. So I'm not having good IVs for those Pokemon because, to be honest, both Whiscash and Skarmory were two of the first actually Pokemon that I have built for not Go Battle League, for Pokemon Go PvP much before Go Battle League was even introduced. So at the point I had no clue what the good IVs are for PvP. So I went with whatever I had. Also, Boulder Cup was around with Sylph at the moment, and Skarmory was proven to be one of the best Pokemon out there with Plus Cannon instead of Brave Bird because Brave Bird was not even existing at all. So that's a small history lesson for you for my team composition IVs, and now Vigoroth is gonna go in against this Sableye. Good news here is that they're gonna bring the fighter, this Toxic Rock, and you can see that even a counter to that Vigoroth that we have, double Body Slam can still take a shield out of that Toxic Rock, which is absolutely amazing. So much damage, so much spammy moves, and we will try to catch a move on our Skarmory. This is not gonna happen at all, at least not successfully, because now Toxic Rock is gonna fire off two Mud Bombs to our Mud Boy, and things aren't looking that well for us. However, we still have some energy, but they can win the CMP here. We know they have the Sableye loaded on energy. Can we survive trainers? Yes, we can. We are alright at the Blizzard. We are gonna unleash it, and things are looking finally good for us. Sableye out of the way, and we're gonna take a huge victory. Into the next one now against the Medicham lead, pretty good lead, and they have a Pidgeot coming in. So a lot of flying backlines nowadays, especially on the Elo range that we are at, because we're playing around expert ranking Elo, and things are looking kinda fairly enough actually challenging for us, because we have a lot of good trainers, a lot of good teams with a lot of play for both sides. So here comes now this Vigoroth of ours, and we're gonna undercharge. I was not intending to do that, but it happened, and for some reason I missed the first bubbles of my Body Slam, but anyways it worked towards my advantage because now I have some more energy to spare here, especially against this matchup against the Medicham, and because they feather danced me I do not do so much damage, but two of those Body Slams also almost put that Medicham to the 50% range. Now we can go in with the Skarmory, use the Sky Attack, and eventually take out the Medicham. However, they decide decide to block here, and I'm like, you know what? Did you block? What do you have at the back? I'm just gonna go ahead and let my shield go down here, both ends, no shields at all, and now Sky Attack is gonna connect. What I wanted to do here is to do some cheap damage because Matshots are almost doing no damage at all, and the Blizzard doesn't deal 100% to the Noctowl. I know that from the Timeless Cap, I believe, back in the day of Shield. So now Blizzard will connect, Noctowl goes down, and Medicham has to go with a big psychic move to finish us off, otherwise we can survive, and Mud Bomb is gonna connect before they even reach to a move, so Medicham is not gonna prove to be a very good counter to our Whiscash, and we're gonna take the victory. Last one, trainers, last match for this video, and we're gonna see another great battle with this line of 3. So Vigoroth on the switch here, after we take a lot of damage from that Shadow Swampert up on the lead with our Skarmory, but we don't care at all because still Skarmory, even with a little bit amount of HP, even at the red, can prove to be a very good Pokemon. So now my Vigoroth here has to tank this Sky Attack, not a Brave Bird for sure, so we can go ahead and completely farm them down if we can seal this. However, I decided to let this go because I have some HP on my Skarmory and I can completely farm them down. They're gonna come in with that Swampert. Perhaps that was a mistake because now they have to either double block or rely on their third Pokemon to finish us off. I don't know what they might have at the back, but I'm just gonna take this risk on my shoulders because now I can go in with a Whiscash, block once and farm them down. However, they were almost at the CMP there. We did that final Matshot right on the 5th Matshot that they were gonna have the move ready to go. We're gonna lag a little bit here, but Swampert is gonna be taken out of the way. They're gonna block the big move that Blizzard, and now we have to go with the shield on the Sableye. I'm expecting the switch at some point, that's why I am over farming right now, and I am seeing an opening here. I have to go with a Mud Bomb. I do not want to risk using the Blizzard and swap my Blizzard into the Skarmory, so I'm just gonna go ahead here and take this Sky Attack, and I will charge up to a point that I have 2 Mud Bombs before the final Air Slash is registered, and now we can go for the last second Mud Bomb. Is this enough, trainers? And boom! It barely is. We're gonna take a huge victory with our budget team. So that's all, trainers. Thank you for watching, thank you for staying till the end. I hope you liked my budget options over here, and perhaps they prove to be some of the best choices that you can do for the new season. So thank you for watching. Be sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you already haven't, and I hope to see you all into the next one. Take care, trainers. Choo choo choo.